You know that feeling, right? You can read English perfectly fine, you listen to music, watch films, understand pretty much everything, but then that moment comes when you need to actually speak, and it's like hitting a wall. The words just, they don't come out right, or they're slow, all jumbled up. Maybe you feel kind of shy or just frustrated. If that sounds like you, well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to really unpack this.
Oh, absolutely. It's something so many learners face, and it's really important to say this up front. It has nothing to do with how smart you are or, how much you actually know. It's just a common hurdle. So our mission today is to get into this core idea that getting past it means training two things: your mouth and your mind.
Okay, the mouth and the mind, I like that. Training the mouth,
Huh.
like a muscle.
Mhm.
But you surely knowing the grammar, the vocabulary, that's the main thing, isn't it? Why is the physical part so often missed?
That's a great point, and it's exactly where things often get tricky. Think about it like this, okay? You could read, say, every book on driving a car, memorize all the rules, understand how the engine works. Your brain knows it all, theoretically. But until you actually sit in the driver's seat, hands on the wheel, foot on the gas, and physically drive, well, your body hasn't learned it. Speaking English, it's fundamentally a physical activity. Your mouth, tongue, jaw, even your breath, they're all doing these really complex movements. It's like going to the gym. You don't just think about lifting a weight. You have to actually do the reps. It feels awkward, maybe a bit stiff at first. That's totally normal. But if you keep practicing regularly, those movements get smoother, more intuitive. It's all about building that muscle memory, So the sounds just flow naturally without you having to consciously think about every little movement.
Right, so it's not just intellectual understanding, it's actual physical conditioning. Okay, so someone wants to start training their mouth. What's a really effective technique they can use? Like, right away.
One of the best techniques, and it's surprisingly powerful even though not everyone knows it, is called shadowing.
Shadowing. I think I've heard of that. How does it work exactly?
It's pretty straightforward, actually. You listen to someone speaking English, could be a podcast, an audiobook, a YouTube video, whatever, and you repeat exactly what they say, either almost at the same time or just right after them. The key thing here isn't just repeating the words. You're trying to copy everything: their pronunciation, the ups and downs of their voice, the rhythm, even the little pauses. Like an actor learning lines, sort of.
Ah, okay, so you're not even focused on understanding every single word. It's more about just mimicking the sound.
Precisely. That's a crucial point. Don't stop or get hung up if you don't catch the meaning of every word. The main goal is purely mechanical, almost. Getting your mouth used to making those specific English sounds, following the natural melody and flow of the language, it works so well because it forces you to listen really carefully. And at the same time, you're training your mouth to actually produce those sounds authentically. You can start small, short sentences, then maybe work up to longer bits as you get more comfortable. It really builds that vocal agility.
That sounds really practical. Good way to connect listening and speaking. Okay, so besides that kind of focused practice, what about something simpler, maybe for every day, to build that muscle memory?
Yeah, definitely. Another really, really effective thing is just making a daily habit of repeating simple English phrases. Think of it like a quick mouth warm-up. Things like, "I'm ready, I can do it, let's go, good morning, thank you." Really basic stuff. But here's the kicker. You need to say them with feeling, with emotion. So if you're feeling genuinely happy, smile when you say "I'm ready." Let your voice show it. If you're tired, maybe your voice is lower when you say it. It stops being just reciting words and becomes more about embodying the phrase. You connect the sound to the feeling directly. This builds a really strong connection in your brain. The words feel less like abstract things you learned, more like real expressions, like, a song you just start singing along to automatically. The more you do it, the more automatic these little building blocks become. It helps form a natural English habit.
That makes total sense, building that automatic, comfortable feeling. Okay, this next one. It might feel a bit weird at first, I imagine, speaking out loud, even when you're totally alone.
Yes. This is actually one of my favorites. Seriously, think of your home as your own private English zone. No judgment, right? You can just narrate what you're doing, describe your actions, talk about things you see, like, "Okay, I'm making coffee now. Smells good. I really need this cup." Or maybe, "Right, gotta clean the house today. First the kitchen, then I'll tackle the bedroom." Even just simple things. "This is a book. It's red. It's on the table." I remember when I was learning German, I used to talk to my dog all the time in German, telling him what I was doing. He had no clue, obviously, but my mouth was getting a workout. The great thing is, you don't need anyone else. There's zero pressure to be perfect or get corrected. The goal is just Make noise in English. Let your mouth practice forming the sounds, putting words together, even if you make mistakes. It's pure practice time. Plus, it helps your brain link the words directly to the actions or objects you're talking about.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about getting the mouth moving, getting comfortable with the sounds, but what about the thoughts behind the words? How do you start actually, thinking in English, avoiding that slow translation step in your head?
Yeah, that can feel like a really big jump, can't it? But you approach it step by step. You're not trying to write a philosophy paper in English in your head right away. Start really small, single words. You see a glass of water, consciously think the word water. You feel hungry. Identify that feeling inside your head as, I'm hungry. Feel cold. Think, it's cold. Ah. The main aim, the fundamental goal, is to bypass that step where you think it in your first language and then translate. You want to train your brain to go directly to the English concept. One single words feel easier, then you move up. Simple phrases. I need to go to the store. The weather is nice today. Things like that. This practice, over time, really boosts your fluency because your brain starts working directly in English. It's like creating a superhighway for your thoughts, skipping the slow translation detour. And seriously, don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Every little time you manage to think directly in English, that's a win.
A superhighway for your thoughts. I like that. Start small, single words, simple phrases, cut out the translation. Okay. So beyond specific practice, how do we make English just part of life, not just study time?
That's key, isn't it? English isn't just another school subject. It's a language you need to live with. Real fluency develops when you weave it into your normal day. Like, you could use a language learning app for just 5 or 10 minutes while you're on the bus or waiting in line. Or maybe instead of watching something in your native language, watch short English videos. Cartoons are great, cooking shows, maybe news clips. Use English subtitles at first if it helps. Listen to English music, obviously. Or find simple audio stories, podcasts, like this one. Do it while you're doing chores, cooking, commuting. You could even get creative, find a passion project in English. If you love baking, for example, find English-speaking bakers on YouTube. Try out recipes written in English. Maybe even talk through your own baking process out loud in English. It makes it less like studying and more just doing something you enjoy, but in English. Even if you're not living in an English-speaking place, you can create your own little English bubble at home. Change your phone's language setting. Read short news headlines in English. Look at English memes. The more English you just have around you, passively or actively, the more natural it starts to feel. Your brain gets used to seeing it, hearing it, thinking in it, almost without trying. It really speeds things up.
Making it part of life, not a chore.
Yeah, that's crucial. And this brings us back to something we mentioned earlier with the gym analogy, consistency. How important is that really?
Oh, it's everything. Consistency is honestly the absolute foundation. So many people think they need these huge, heroic 2-hour study sessions every day. But that's often just not sustainable, right? People burn out. The kind of counterintuitive secret is that even 5 minutes a day is incredibly powerful. Doing something small every single day is way, way more effective than cramming for 2 hours once a month. Those 5 minutes keep telling your brain, hey, this English thing is important. Keep these connections active. It cements things much better than big, infrequent bursts. It builds momentum, builds confidence, and most importantly, it builds a habit. Your mouth remembers the practice, your brain keeps that English channel open, it's continuous, and you know what often happens. Those 5 minutes turn into 10 or 15 because you actually start to enjoy it once you're rolling. The main thing is, try not to break the chain. That daily action signals to your brain that this matters, and that consistency makes all the difference, truly.
That's so true. It makes it feel manageable, not like this huge mountain to climb every day. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about confidence and this idea of celebrating your English voice. That sounds important.
It's more than important. It's potentially liberating. So many learners hold themselves back, waiting for this mythical moment of perfection. They think, oh, my English isn't good enough yet, or my accent sounds funny, I'll wait until it's better. But here's the reality check. You don't wait to be perfect before you start speaking. You speak in order to become better. That's how it works. Your voice, including your unique accent, is part of who you are. Embrace it. Your accent tells a story about your journey. It's part of your identity. The goal isn't to sound exactly like some imaginary native speaker from one specific place. The goal is clear communication. Can people understand you? Great. When you start to accept and even embrace your own voice, your confidence naturally grows. You feel better about speaking. And when you feel good, guess what? You speak more. It creates this wonderful positive feedback loop. So really, next time you speak English, even if it's just talking to yourself, take a moment, maybe even smile, and just acknowledge, this is my voice, and I'm speaking English.
That really flips the script on traditional learning, doesn't it? Less about perfecting it silently in your head, more about just producing it. Which leads perfectly into this final, really deep idea you mentioned. Your brain will follow your mouth. Can you unpack that? What does that really mean for someone learning?
It's basically the opposite of how we usually think learning works. We tend to believe we need to load up our brains perfectly first. All the grammar rules, all the vocabulary before we can safely let the words out. But the actual act of speaking, physically forming the words, making the sounds, putting sentences together, even imperfectly, that act is an incredibly powerful learning tool in itself. Your brain isn't just passively absorbing information when you speak, it's actively producing language. Fluency isn't born just from studying books or listening, it's born in the practice of speaking. Reading and listening give you the input, absolutely essential, but speaking, the output, is what makes it truly real and solidifies it for your brain. By pushing your mouth to speak, by forcing it to try, even when it feels hard or clumsy at first, your brain has to scramble to catch up. It's like your brain gets the message, okay, hold on, the mouth is speaking English now. I need to supply the right words, the grammar patterns, the pronunciation, and I need to do it fast. It forces your brain to build and strengthen those vital pathways between sound, meaning, and the physical action of speaking. So the takeaway is, don't wait for your brain to feel perfectly ready. Start speaking, start making those sounds, and your brain will actually learn faster because of it.
Wow, that's a really powerful, almost liberating thought. This has been such a helpful deep dive, so many practical things for training both the mouth and the mind. It really comes down to that consistent practice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And just having the courage to make noise in English.
Absolutely. And you definitely have that courage. So as you start trying these things out, maybe just ponder this. How might actively using your mouth to produce English, even when it feels like a struggle, actually change the way your brain works? How might it accelerate your ability to think and communicate directly in English? What could really shift for you if you fully embrace the idea that speaking isn't just the result of learning, but maybe the fastest way to learn?